What's up, guys? I've got a pretty awesome video for you today. As you see, I am driving. I'm on a long road trip to Disney, to Miami, to Tampa Bay. We're going to go explore Florida, and we just loaded up a van and we just hit the road, and I'm excited about it, but it's a long drive. So instead of recording this at the hotel last night, I laid in bed, I got some rest, and then I said, you know what? I can record these videos while driving, not a big deal. It's just the thoughts in my brain. My boy is right back here, and he's being loud, but I think with the mic it might actually be fine on y'all's end. I hope it is. But if you hear a little baby making noises, that's him. But in this video, the goal here is to help you rewire your mind and just like retool your brain in a way that will allow you to effortlessly make $100,000 a month. And to some of you, that number might just sound insane. And it's funny because when I was thinking about this video and what to title it, I was thinking, I probably should put $10,000 in the title because most humans don't even think 100,000 is a real thing, which is so crazy because I'm somebody who averaged $100,000 in 2023. So it's 2024 now. My goals are much bigger. I want to keep elevating and keep progressing. But I just want to let you guys know why I'm qualified to speak on this, because I went myself in a 4-year span from a door-to-door salesman that did around 100 grand in a year to making $1.2 million in a year on the internet. And it really happened because I tore my Achilles, and that kind of forced me into really making money on the internet. I had to do it, and that's when things took off. But for you guys, I think with my channel, the fact that you've discovered it, I can help you uncover some things that took me a while to realize. And even though it was a 5-year process of hustling till I got to my first $100,000 month, you can get there much quicker. But the biggest thing that it requires is for you to unlearn stuff that you've been taught that's just blatantly incorrect, that our society teaches us, and then start thinking the right way, which very, very few people do. When I'm traveling like I am now, it's just a spontaneous trip. We don't have many plans. We just kind of stay where we want, when we want, and we book our rooms and our Airbnbs last minute. We stay flexible. There's no pressure to stay anywhere or do anything. And I just think man, nobody travels this way. The way people travel and the way I traveled as a kid was my parents would save for months for a vacation. They would take off days, and then we would try to cram as much shit into as few days as possible because my parents were employees and they wanted to make use of their off days. So there was no chill, go with the flow. It was hey, we had time hacks on our vacations. And the vacations were probably more effort than normal life. So it's crazy. You're recovering from a vacation, whereas the vacation should be the recovery. But anyways, the biggest thing stopping people, guys, is just all the stuff we've been taught that's incorrect. And I was talking to my wife about English, and she was an English teacher for a few years before she retired in her mid-20s. And when you think about English class in America, you think about reading these books that are just torture to read. Nobody wants to read these books. They're the worst topics. And then you get quizzed on them and you get tested on them. And there's this thing called Spark Notes. And if you're smart like me, you wouldn't even read the book. You would just watch the movie and listen to the Spark Notes. But if your teacher caught you reading Spark Notes, it was outlawed. It was banned. And you probably see it nowadays in 2024 with ChatGPT. You could just use ChatGPT to be a lot more efficient with your time. But the school system will literally teach you that that's cheating and that's bad and that you should be punished. You get a penalty for that. When in reality, the way the world works, if you find a more efficient way to do something, you should do it the more efficient way. If you can make 100 grand a month on the internet, you should do that instead of showing up to a workplace to get a couple grand a month. But society teaches us the actual opposite of the right thing, the complete wrong way, And they program us to think that way. So you got all these kids thinking that Spark Notes is bad, and then some of them that are smart enough to do it anyways, but then they feel guilty still when you shouldn't feel guilty for being smart and doing things a more efficient way. And it's just so fascinating because as adults, you see these people that have been programmed as children acting like idiots because they've just been taught to be idiots their entire life and they've never snapped out of it. And when you really dive into some other things, some things that might be more controversial, but I'm confident that my audience can handle this, but circumcision in the US. In the US, people look at you like you're insane if you don't cut the skin of your kid's dick off when they're born. And it's such an insane thing. Like me just saying that, it's obvious that that's insane. And in any other country in the world, they look at Americans like, why are you cutting a piece of your kid's dick off? That's insane. It is. When I first heard that and it started like, I saw a YouTuber make a video about it. I was like, I gotta listen to this. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. Why is this guy like so against circumcision? And then when I really started thinking about it and started researching like who invented circumcision and why, I was like, this is fucking insane. Like how people not realize this? They just haven't like seeked truth. You have to seek the truth to learn the truth. And anybody who's in America might hear me say that and be like, what the fuck? But if you do your research, you'll see like, holy shit, this is insane. And any foreigner watching this video, like non-American, is probably like, yeah, that's a good example because that's crazy that Americans, and it's just the way we're taught. Like when we're kids, we're taught to make fun of people that aren't circumcised. And it gets you to this point where you're like stressed. You're like, oh, I don't want my son to not be circumcised. What if he's the only one in gym class and things like that? And it's just so bizarre. Like the thing about that to me is insane is you'll get like hardcore religious people that firmly believe in God and they're super religious and they're also circumcising. And I'm just thinking like, if you believe the world was created by God and man was created by God, do you think that God just made this massive mistake? Like he gave kids too much skin on their dicks, and you think God like created humans in the incorrect way? So how could you be believing in God and believe circumcision smart? It's just such a bizarre thing that you see with these people. The other thing is dinosaurs. At first, when I heard about this, I was like, no, dinosaurs are real. And then I thought, why do I think dinosaurs are real? Well, because I've been taught they're real in the books my whole life in school. I'm like, well, honestly, that's not really a good enough reason. Let me do some research. So then the more research you do, you realize, oh, dinosaurs were a thing that like exploded in the mid-1900s. So if you have a grandparent that's older, they probably can even remember this. And you can talk to them about it. But it was one of those things where it was like a race to see who discovered the dinosaur bones first. So, same as like the moon landing, really. More people have accepted the moon landing's fake than dinosaurs, I think. I think it's more like common knowledge that the moon landing's just ridiculous. But dinosaurs, it's one of those things where the only reason that you'll get people arguing with you about them being real is because these people have been taught that dinosaurs are real since they were little kids. I mean, literally, there's like 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds that parents are teaching them dinosaurs are real because the parents got taught that they were real. And it's a fun thing, like pretending dinosaurs are real, the dinosaur movies, like it is a fun thing to pretend. But when you're really thinking about it and you're looking at all the evidence and lack of evidence, you realize like, oh, holy shit, this was just a bunch of people trying to push Darwinism on people to steer them away from God. And it was also like scientists trying to flex. And even if you go to a dinosaur museum, there's no real dinosaur bones there. It's all like fake shit. You obviously will see if you've ever been to like like we have a library with a whole dinosaur, and it's like none of the bones are real at all. And they'll say scientists believe. They can't even say it's a fact because they're just saying scientists believe. We've learned, don't trust the science. Like it's a joke now. It's a meme where you say, trust the science. because like the government will just tell us something insane, and then they're like, trust the science, like don't question this. But it's funny, right? Like it just shows like you could teach your kid anything. And an example that's less controversial, I think, is cults. Like if you look at documentaries on cults, these villages in the woods in Utah usually, they're teaching the whole little bubble of people, hey, it's normal for the older dudes to, you know, basically take advantage of all the little girls, and it's like part of their society. It's just accepted. And if you're born into a cult, you know nothing else, so you just think all of these things are the right thing to do, even though we all know it's insane. Like people that have escaped from cults, like it's just the most interesting thing ever for them to tell their stories. And then also there's people that have had opportunities to leave the cult, but they stay. Even though they are born into torture, they stay there because that's what they've known first. And humans have a hard time changing up their environment, even if they were born into a cult where they're getting raped by older men in the village, and it's like part of the church in the cult and all this weird stuff. But it just shows you like humans cling on to what they know as normal, even if it's incorrect. So those are some extreme examples there. But when it comes to making money, it's no different. We are taught the phrase throughout our lives, get rich quick scheme. If it's too good to be true, it is. But then the internet came and social media came, and there was a lot of get rich quick and get rich easy techniques. I watched so many people on the internet get rich before I actually cracked through personally. I cracked through about 3 years ago. And before that, like 7 years ago, I was watching people. And these were good people. These weren't people that were bullshitting and lying. Of course, there's going to be con artists and scammers on the internet. But like, I've seen a lot of good people make an ebook and then make YouTube videos. And so many people buy the book for $15 in the Amazon store that they have passive income flowing through. It's insane. Like all the get rich easy and get rich quick techniques are real. And we're taught like, oh, it's a get rich quick scheme. That's too easy. And it brings me to the point where this is what really inspired the video. I have a school group. So I have a group where people pay to get in, and then I coach them. And I teach them the strategies that I use to make a ton of money, which is very niche. It's creating content around fantasy football and sports betting. So I tell people straight up, like, it's probably not for you. It's a pretty rare person that I work with. They have to be really into sports and want to make content about it. But I look at that group, and I was talking to another guy that owns a school group, and his YouTube channel's popping off. He got 20,000 followers, like really quick, subscribers on YouTube. And he's had several videos get over 100,000 views, and it's inspiration to me. But I joined his group. His group's only $50 a month. This guy's financially free, and he's dominating YouTube without editing his videos. So for me, if I can be friends with him, it's definitely worth $50 a month. That's $600 a year to be in his group, to get on private Zoom calls with him once or twice a week. I don't even know what the group offers, how many Zoom calls, but like, you see what I'm saying here? It's a no-brainer. But there's like 10 people in his group, and I think like 4 of them work for him and help him build the group. So like, nobody's joined this guy's group. And I'm just thinking like, it's crazy that pretty much every human you see that was born in the 90s and 80s has gone to college and paid a lot of money to go to college. And their number one excuse is like, oh, well, I got it paid for because this scholarship, or my parents paid for it, whatever. But they're still paying 4 years of their time. They're paying years and hundreds of hours studying stuff for tests. So you're paying a lot for college. You could just join this guy's group for $50, get mentorship from a financially free guy. Pretty much one-on-one coaching right now because nobody's joined. But I think it's so weird. Like he was talking to me about his group and stuff and how he can make it better. I was helping him brainstorm. And I was thinking like, man, it really is wild that there hasn't been 1,000 people join this guy's group. Like, it just kind of shows how dumb the average human is. Now, I joined his group, and it's a no-brainer for me. It's even a tax write-off, guys. If you invest in your education, it's a tax write-off. So you can take that, and it's a business expense to further educate yourself, right? And it's crazy that people aren't joining his group, but I can relate to him so much, because my group, even though I've made over 150 grand in the first 3 months, so like 50 grand a month we're actually doing more than that. We did like just under 70 grand in April. But I thought that it would do $1 million a month quick, because I thought it was such a no-brainer. It's $400, and I have multiple students that I have interviewed that have proof and verified have made 6 figures in a month. So I've coached people to a point where they do $100,000 in a month off of their Instagram page. And I'm thinking, like, how is it that I get so much pushback with my group? And when I'm trying to sell it in the DM, when I'm going back and forth with people, direct messaging on Instagram, like, I shouldn't even need to go back and forth with people. If they watch the interviews of my successful students, it should be like a no-brainer. And you think about college, like, how does college work? People pay thousands of dollars for a degree. Sometimes they pay thousands of dollars and don't get a degree. Like, I went to college for years and I ended up dropping out. I don't have my degree. And they walk away with it with nothing tangible. And nobody ever accuses college of being a scam, when college is much closer to a scam than my coaching program. Yet all the time, people go crazy on me on social media, acting like I'm some piece of shit for charging people to teach them things. And the reality is, like, my professors all had shitty lives. Like, you know, if you've gone to college, you know, like, whenever it's been more of a chill atmosphere and the professor is, like, talking about their life a little bit and maybe going back and forth with the students, like, you can kind of tell, like, man, this person does not have a desirable life. This is not the life that I want. Yet we're paying thousands of dollars to sit here and this person's educating you. Why wouldn't you pay somebody $400 and get on a fucking Zoom call with an actual self-made millionaire that became a millionaire in their 20s? Like, that would make more sense, logically, just using basic level thinking here. But there's way more pushback, and it's way harder for people to pull the trigger. The reason why is because they've been taught their whole lives since they're little kids how great college is. And some adults have realized how stupid college is, but there's still a lot of adults that will defend it. And the only reason that college isn't really under pressure or accused of being a scam is because the herd thinks that it is not a scam. So if you come out and say college is a scam, you're going against what the average person thinks. So you're just creating a bunch of, like, I don't know, you're just going against the norm, and humans don't do that. For whatever reason, like, as humans, we cannot shift our way of thinking at all. Or if we know something's true and everybody else believes something else is true, it's very hard for humans to stand up for what they believe in. And it's just really interesting. And I think for me, like, I evaluate, how did I get that $1.2 million a year? I was going over all my numbers with my accountants yesterday, and you look at these charts and you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, to make this much in a month and this much in a month. Like, it wasn't just 100K a month. I averaged 100K a month over the year, but we had like 1 month where it'd be a $250,000. And then some months where it's slow in the summer, it might be like 15 grand those months. So it averaged out to 100 grand a month. So it's pretty crazy though, 1.2 million in a year, just off a YouTube channel too, because my son was born at the beginning of last year. So I really had to shift the way I worked to be way more efficient. Like, I put in way less time last year than I did in 2022, and my income nearly doubled, which that's a crazy topic to discuss itself. But yeah, it all starts with the mind, guys, and your mindset. And if you want to make 100 grand in a month, you have to wire your mind in the appropriate way. And right now, I'm just making videos on whatever comes to mind and whatever inspires me. But I guarantee you, if you watch all my videos, you will get to $100,000 a month. And don't give up, and keep pushing and keep getting better. But one of the big messages that I'm putting out on this channel is just things that helped me, and I try to make a video every day on things that helped me get to where I'm at. So I went from broke college student to working full-time in the Army, which was a huge level up just to get a salary of $4,500 a month. And I jumped from $4,500 a month to retiring my whole family and making bank off of a sports betting YouTube channel. So it's a pretty crazy story. And I just know that I've lived this life and I've experienced these things, and by just reflecting on my life and identifying what got me here, I can give you guys that information and help you guys get there quicker, and then we can be friends, because there's not a lot of people that are on my level. And if I can help people get to my level and then be friends with them, it'll just be a higher quality of life for me. So that's what's in it for me. And it's just fulfilling to help others. But also, you know, my vision for this page is that we all be friends and help each other. And then we'll get this group of like-minded thinkers together. Because if you look around at the store or the gas station, most people don't think the way that you and me think about things. So it's cool to build community. And that's kind of my goal for the channel. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried my best to structure my thoughts. I've had a lot of deep thoughts last night and this morning, but I hope you guys got good benefit from listening. I'm sure you did if you listened to the end. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit the subscribe button and check out my other stuff if you're into entrepreneurship, self-improvement, and making money on the internet. Have a good day, guys. Peace out. I'll see you.